Oh man, we needed that. Oh man. Whoops. Yep. We forget that sometimes. All right. Let's do this. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, we need a little pick-me-up. How about a little bit of this? Your friends, but the affections of a lady. Macaroni and cheese, I like steak, it's extra tasty. Hey, it's weekend 3, and her name was Katerina, but she wanted something more from me. No, she's my best friend in the whole wide world. You never leave your brother for the affections of a girl. If she tries to get between you, then... Oh, man. That's just catchy as hell. I needed that. I needed a little pick-me-up. Whew. Mexico City, folks. Impact Wrestling emanating from Mexico City. First tapings ever. The chat is already going nuts. Good evening to you. Duke's in the chat. Caretaker. Hey, Caretaker's in the chat. Oh, let's get some Mac McCall. Good evening. Getting hyped. Yes. Let's see here. Let's read a couple of these off the bat. Hijo del Vikingo. That's the son of the Viking. If you're rusty on that, trust me, I am too. Aerostar and Laredo Kid versus OVE. Lucha Brothers versus Swan and Seidel were really good, but Tejano versus Ares, there was no heat and the crowd didn't care. It fell flat due to those reasons. The Caretaker says the crowd was weak. Yeah, I felt pretty much the same. I mean, the crowd wasn't dead. The crowd, I'm not going to call myself a AAA expert, okay? But I have watched some Triple Manias and some bigger events over the course of the last couple of years, okay? Mexican crowds. And they can either be like batshit nuts or they could be sitting on their hands. And you know what? Honestly, it's like that all across the U.S. too. You get towns that sit on their hands and you've got to literally be ripping arms and legs off of bodies to like get a reaction out of the crowd, or they're hyped 24/7 nonstop. Like the last tapings up in Canada were really solid. Up until like that last episode, you could tell they were like a little tired. But that's, like I said, that's no knock on the Rebel crowd, the Rebel fans that were in that club. The last several months were just ridiculously night and day better than what they had down in Florida. Very complacent fans down there. And I was a little afraid of that happening in Mexico. Obviously, they're going to get pumped for guys like the bigger names like Tejano and Phoenix. They got some pops. I think Tejano got a half. I'd have to go back and look at it. I thought he got an okay pop. He's a former, like they said, AAA champion, 2-time, I think they said. And the kid Tejano Jr. is so good. I really wish he could spend more time in Impact Wrestling. I really wish. I wish he would bring the rest of his crew. Oh man, I don't know what they're called. Black Scorpion crew or something down in AAA. He's with a couple other guys, and I think they're trios champs down there. I could be wrong, but I think they're champs down there. So yeah, let's go over this. I mean, yeah, but with the exception of the crowd here and there, I felt the show was decent for a first taping down in Mexico. Hey, at least there was a decent amount of people in those bleachers. It was kind of hard to tell how big. It kind of looked like a small arena, you know? It was hard to tell how big that place was. Or maybe a huge gym. Hard to tell. But hey, at least it wasn't like, 10 people in the crowd or something. Let's see here. We'll also get into the discussion of who's going in the Hall of Fame. Very excited about that. We'll get to that. Let's start out. Here we go. Aerostar, Laredo Kid, and Io. How did you say it? Del Vikingo. I wrote down Viking. I got a part right. Versus OVE and Sami Callihan. This, and not knocking the champ, this should have been the headliner. I feel like this really, it was a good way to get the crowd going, as far as getting the crowd hype and excited, but then it was all kind of downhill real slow from there. But I felt like content-wise, the way the show flowed, I felt it was okay. Decent amount of promos, certainly a decent amount of matches. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches, whatever it was. Decent stuff, and we're on the road to Bound for Glory. So almost everything we're going to see from the Mexico tapings is going to be revolving around what's coming up in New York City. Incredible match, though, kicking it off with OVE and Aerostar, El Vikingo, and Laredo Kid. Aerostar with that, 10-foot flamethrower. I know it's a can of spray, but still, man, it was like a 10-foot flame on that thing. That was ridiculous. Big. I think that might have been his biggest flame ever. Holy cow. Love Aerostar. He is really something. Wow, did he bounce back from last night? It's another universe. Sorry. Lucha Underground. Let's see. Tessa shows up in the locker room, already throwing her attitude around. I don't remember the name of the girl that was in there first. I know she had words with Fabi. What's her name? Fabi Apache. Fabi Apache is quickly becoming, from what I've heard, a women's legend down in Mexico. Second generation wrestler. I saw her in her hair versus hair match at Triple Mania, I think it was, a month ago, whenever it was. That was very good. Yeah, takes a while to get that hair back. But that was a very good match. I remember watching that. I think I reviewed it on here too. Yeah. Man, and that whole event was crazy. So yeah, Tessa having words with Fabi Apache. But if anybody knows the name of the first girl that was in there, I almost thought it was Sexy Star, but it was not. It's not Sexy Star. It's I've seen the name once before. It'll come to me, or someone will put it in the chat for me, because I got awesome people that watch my stuff. Welcome all, by the way, as people are filling up the chat and more viewers are coming in. Welcome. Let's see what is next here. Oh, we get the challenge, open challenge from Eli Drake, trying to get. No, not Kiera. It was a blonde with a mask on. Challenge from Eli Drake, and surprisingly, I thought it was going to be someone from AAA coming out, but we got Trevor Lee bringing a ref. This poor ref. I always laugh about this ref, but he is so good, and I don't know the kid's name. He looks like he's like 15 years old, and the way his facial expressions during matches are priceless. And every once in a while, someone catches them and like shares them on social media. Too damn funny. But so yeah, Eli Drake with the open challenge versus Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee obviously not digging the amount of respect that he's getting from Eli Drake lately. You know, he's trying to, you know, I think he almost in a sense idolizes the former champ. And what? um and obviously didn't like what's been happening. So we get Trevor Lee out there to challenge Eli Drake. Eli Drake gives him the gravy train. 1, 2, 3, gets the win. Trevor Lee did reverse that first gravy train though, so props to him for that. He's obviously been watching him. He's been watching him. Then we get the OGs and the King cutting a promo backstage. They're not liking where they are. They wish they were back up in New York City, it sounds like. And then they're just dying for Conan and the boys to just cut loose and forget that whole that cease of violence. Oh, Kid Ref. Chris Levin. That's what you were. Okay. Kid Ref. Yeah. Oh my God. He's in his 30s? Holy crap. Kid Ref. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think I've heard that before. Thank you. Thank you, Duke. Appreciate that. Duke Togo in the chat. Awesome. Appreciate it. So then King's like, yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show him how it's done. And I have no clue who this guy was that King wrestled with the OGs at ringside. And they clobbered him before the bell even rung. And looking at the mohawk on top of the dude's mask, I thought it was Psycho Clown at first glance. But no, wait, that's no way that was Psycho Clown. Psycho Clown has an absolute crap ton of charisma bouncing all over the damn place. Just the mohawk threw me off. I was like, oh, it's Psycho. No, it's not Psycho Clown. Totally not him, because Psycho Clown wouldn't have gone down that easily against King. Psycho Clown's, I mean, I'm no expert on Psycho Clown. I've seen him wrestle a few matches, and yeah, that's Psycho Clown ain't going out like that. No. I always think back to that match I saw him last year versus Dr. Wagner, Mask versus Mask. That was good. Very good. So yeah, King clobbers this guy with one big backhand after he gets his ass kicked before the bell rings. 1, 2, 3. Now, like I said, I never even heard the guy's name. And they're trying to desperately call out Conan and what's he keep calling him? the kid marks or something. I don't know. But to no avail. LAX does not come out with Conan, but the boys are going absolutely batshit crazy in the back, begging Conan to go out there. And Conan finally takes off his shades and he gets in their faces and he's got them by the scruff of the collar. And, hey, Racist Fan Rocks is in the chat. What's up? Good evening to you, sir. Cheers. Glad you could join us. And he's letting them have it. He's like, you guys want to go out there, and I mean, he gets really dark with his explanation of things, like they're going to be waiting with a big old vat of acid if they fall in this trap of, you know, doing this cease of violence early. And are going against the seas of violence early. Oh, and he just lays into them, and then he turns their anger around instead of inward, outward, and he channels their aggression, which is so important because, and he really shows how good of a mentor he is to these kids. Santana and Ortiz are so good, and they're defining tag team wrestling today. They are one of the best teams out there. They're traveling the world. If you missed my review for the MediaCon, the UK show, Impact versus UK, or whatever they called it, was last week or whenever it was. I did the review just a few days ago. I invite you to go watch that match, that LAX. At least go to the Twitch channel and look for, I think they have the tag team match by itself. LAX versus Jody Fleisch and Johnny Storm. Just a tremendous example of how good Santana and Ortiz are, which also shows how good of a mentor Conan is. Now, Conan wasn't there, but it just shows that they're so good. They didn't need Conan there. Conan obviously sent them with enough knowledge up here to go get the job done to defend their titles successfully. I also invite you, if you have not listened to the press conference today, go listen to the press conference. They called it, they gave it a new name, and they give a slightly different spin on it. It didn't change much, but it was still good. Press pass that they did earlier today. It had Homicide and Ortiz, and the press, media would ask questions and go back and forth and get answers from both guys, and they would play off of each other. So it was very entertaining, and it was also really, educational in a sense, in that we see Homicide in the ring a lot, busting ass, spits a few words here and there backstage. We don't see him get out there like Conan or King. And he shocked me. He really did, because he's always been known as an ass kicker worldwide, and I've never really heard him speak much. So I really wanted to take the chance to listen to it, and to hear Homicide and Ortiz go back and forth on this was actually very entertaining. So if you have not seen that, go check it out. Wow, the chat's lighting up. Awesome. Pierre's here. Willie Bowen's here. What's up? Welcome to the show. So yeah, very cool promos that both these guys cut. It says something about the guys. Now think about this for a second. If they're not touching each other till Bound for Glory, how are they gonna entertain us or keep the feud alive? Well, we've got tremendous promos cut from these guys. And so I hope we even hear more from the future from guys like Hernandez, Homicide, and Santana and Ortiz. But if they keep surrounding themselves with guys like Conan or the King, it's going to happen. So, but yeah, I still love the feud. They're not touching each other, and it's still entertaining. It still has me, oh my God, what's going to happen at Bound for Glory? Oh, and the match got turned into concrete jungle death match. So now we've seen these guys go at it before. I don't know if and how they're going to top it, but we're going to get that tag match again, along with King and Conan added to it. That's going to be a special thing because, you know, after Conan had his hip surgery, he's been making little appearances here and there. He appeared in MLW. He's going to have a match in Impact Wrestling. He may even do more. And we'll get to what Conan's done for other people in a little bit. If you missed my discussion on the Lucha Brothers, I'll get to that in a bit because I'm going to reiterate it for those who missed last night, Lucha Underground. What is next here? Oh, this was a treat. This surprised me, okay? In a good way. Fabi Apache versus Alicia Edwards. Now, I've been critical of Alicia Edwards and how she is in the ring. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, she's too green. She shouldn't be out there. Folks, I'm not going to say that this was like the best Impact Knockouts match ever, but this match that she had with Fabi Apache was good. Okay? I got no complaints about it. I was really watching because I was like, I know how good Fabi Apache is. I've seen her wrestle a few times. She's a legend in Mexico. She deserves all the attention and credit that she gets. And she's going against someone like Alicia Edwards, who's still pretty new. So I was like, ooh, maybe this is what I assumed. And I was wrong, but I was glad I was wrong. I assumed we were going to get Fabi Apache versus Alyssa Edwards for like a minute, and then Tessa was going to run down, attack Fabi, match over. I assumed that, and we didn't get that. And I was surprised, but I was happy about it. These two girls had a great match. Fabi Apache still came out with a win, which is fine because it builds her up for those who don't know her against Tessa. And those two are facing off next week. And we'll get to the whole card for next week. Well, not the whole card, but for what we get previews for next week in a little bit. Josh Edwards, before I forget, he joins her in the ring along with a translator and talks to her, and Fabi Apache ends up challenging Tessa. And I kind of already gave it away. But so, yeah. There's the hint at next week. Pretty slick. Then Scarlett Bordeaux and some black little thingy. Oh my goodness. She's going to have an announcement next week. What could she... Damn. What could she possibly be announcing next week? Her first match? Is she going to have a live... Oh, that was wet. Is she going to have a live smoke show at Bound for Glory? We'll have to wait and see. What do you guys think the announcement's going to be? I can't wait. I'm excited. I know. Settle down, J-Bone. Settle down. All right. What's next here? Okay. Rich Swann versus, Rich Swann and Matt Sydal. We originally were supposed to get Rich Swann versus Matt Sydal. That got changed up. But and I'm sure we're gonna get that. In fact, are we getting that next week? I got a feeling I didn't write down everything. Hey, when it's good, you miss stuff. Lucha Brothers Phoenix and Pentagon taking on Rich Swann and Matt Sydal. Incredible tag match. And obviously, because of the miscommunication between Sydal and Swann, things got messed up at the end. And Lucha Brothers get the win. The ring then is surrounded by OVE and Callahan. Cage then comes down to even the odds and scares away OVE. So we get an inkling of like something's going to go down, but nobody touches anybody, which is fine. I'm good with it. That, you know, I'm sure there's going to be something going on soon, because we're getting Cage versus Jake Crist next week. Dear God, that's going to be an incredible match. You may look at that like, oh, Jake Crist is going to get crushed. And on paper, yeah, you can assume that, but Jake is good. You look at how much Jake has shown off his moves over the course of this last year when tagging with his brother. He's done some crazy, shocking stuff. Oh, let's see. Desi Hit Squad get informed that they've got a non-title match next week with LAX, and they're in the middle of getting a nice little massage. They're getting all those beatings from Kama Singh, getting worked out of their bodies. Their bodies are tense. They're beaten up. And what does Gama Singh do? He runs in with a mop, starts beating them again. He makes them start beating up each other to just stay focused. Oh, my God. Crazy. You may look at Gama Singh like he's a tyrant, he's a brute, but he's keeping them focused. Because a young tag team is going to make mistakes. And you got to make sure they learn from their mistakes. And that's what Gama Singh's doing. So let's see how Desi Hit Squad does next week. Oh, then we get the song that kicked off the show tonight. We got Joe Hendry singing about his best friend. Super fun song. Not going to play it again. I'm probably already going to get a copyright strike against me. Who knows? Just making sure I'm getting rid of that so I don't get tempted to play that again. Although that was a lot of fun. What do you guys think of these songs from Joe Hendry? I like them. I think it's fun. Another thing about the MediaCon show, obviously we didn't get a match with Joe Hendry this week. We just got a video, which is fine. It just shows more of the character, how talented he is. I mean, he's got the charisma of 5 Backstreet Boys inside of him. Seriously. Like NSYNC could walk in the room and be like, damn, he's got us beat. You know, he's good. He's really good. Oh, man. Let's see. Joe Hendry's song. Oh, then we get the announcement for the Hall of Fame. Now, my first assumption when they said they were going to announce the Hall of Fame, inductee to the Hall of Fame, my first assumption was Conan because of how he's kind of doing a comeback this year, back to wrestling. He's in better shape now, and it's kind of a farewell in a sense. He's got, he did the match in MLW, like I said. He's got the match coming up at Bound for Glory. How much he's going to get involved, I don't know. But just the fact that he's going to be part of the match says something. So he's obviously feeling better from his hip surgery. So I was like, okay, that's a nice way to welcome him back, put him in the Hall of Fame, because Conan's been around this company on and off for several years. I look back at like not two live crew, three live. Oh goodness, three live crew when he was with BG James, aka Road Dog, and Truth, Ron Killings. That was a lot of fun. I remember watching every week back then, and I loved that group. I thought that was cool. I put them in my wrestling video games like all the time. Loved them. So that was my first assumption. With the meetings going on lately between WWE and Impact Wrestling, I was thinking maybe, okay, is there a chance they're going to take someone like AJ Styles and put him in the Hall of Fame? I mean, with everything crazy that's gone on in the world of wrestling, nothing would have shocked me. I mean, it would have surprised me certainly if they had someone currently from the WWE go into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, but or like Samoa Joe, who defined the X division. I mean, it'd be a stretch, but I can see it happening. But instead we got someone, and this is not a knock on who they are putting in the Hall of Fame. Okay, I want to make sure I make that statement. We have someone going in the Hall of Fame who has literally been with the company since day one. He has not always been called Abyss. In his first match when he came out was, I believe, that Battle Royal, I think. That first episode, he was called Justice, I believe. And that's back when he was unmasked and he was young. And he's been unmasked later when he played the lawyer, and such, or even unmasked when he was with Decay. Just had the makeup on, or paint, whatever. So this is a guy who, throughout the years, has evolved his character, always, from what I can remember, in a positive direction. Might have been a little different, but it turned out to be a positive. Even when he unmasked himself, cut his hair, and did the whole lawyer thing, I wasn't a fan of it at first, but the fans got behind it. And by the end of the thing that he was doing, I'm trying to remember, I think it was a tag match or something, I forget. The fans got behind him and they loved him. I think there's a lot of love and support because he stayed with the company since day one. It came out in the news within the last few years that he had an invite from WWE to come and face Taker at WrestleMania. I don't know about you, but most people would not turn that down. And he stayed with the company, and I think that says a lot about him. He's now working more of a backstage role. He still wrestles. He was just in War Games in MLW, which was really a switch. I was shocked to see him wrestle for someone else on TV. He's been up here in Milwaukee for Brew City Wrestling several times, I believe, for Blizzard Brawl that's coming up in November or December. Tickets are going on sale soon, I believe. So if you're in the Milwaukee, southeastern Wisconsin area, watch out for that. House of Hardcore. Blizzard Brawl, I believe he's going to be a part of that. He's been a part of the last few. So it's going to be cool to have a Hall of Famer, an Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer, come to Milwaukee. In fact, I did have the chance to meet him one time. I don't have the picture around here, I don't think. But I did meet him once. And it was right after he received the ring from Hogan. He also received that foot-long, almost a foot-long scar down his arm. So half the people wanted to see the scar, half of the people wanted to see the Hulk Hogan Hall of Fame ring. So that was interesting that he had that. So, all right. Just a little personal thing on him. But nonetheless, very, very happy that he's going in the Hall of Fame. Then we get the Impact Wrestling Championship match between Austin Aries and Tejano Jr. And like I believe it was Duke said earlier in the chat, right as we started, that the crowd kind of died during that match, and that kind of took a little oomph out of it. I felt it was an okay match. It was a slower match, but I felt it was good. And then we get Johnny. You know, we're south of the border now. We're down in Mexico, so I'll call him Johnny Mundo. So, see, and that's another thing. I think another reason why they weren't all crazy excited at the end is because they really don't like Johnny Mundo. They don't. He had all the belts last year when he was aligned with Taya and Killer Cross. And they ran roughshod over everyone. Everyone. Killer Cross destroyed everyone that came in paths with Johnny Mundo. So he's not real popular down there. So yeah, this next few weeks of tapings and them trying to get a reaction, like a babyface pop for John Morrison, Mundo, Impact. I don't know. I don't know how easy this is going to be. You might have to pipe in a few cheers. I'm kidding. I hate it when they do that. And they were doing that for so long because Impact fans down in Florida were just dead on their ass. So they would have to pipe in the, yes, Agent, you are correct, including women that Cross took out. There was one time, oh man, was it right after Sexy Star became champ again down there? And all of a sudden Killer Cross came in the ring and just destroyed like a dozen women, or just like a whole ton of women in the ring. Killed them all. Crazy. Just to show you the viciousness of Killer Cross. Once he's on a path, man, get the hell out of his way. Seriously. The footage is out there. It's absolutely terrifying. And I keep saying this. If you have not seen the AAA footage of what Killer Cross did over the course of this last year down in AAA, go to his YouTube channel and look it up. It's ridiculous. And the fact that he's backing the champ now, Aries could be a champ for 3 years in a row with Killer Cross at his back. Seriously. You don't even need Moose, but you got two of these guys now. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. So this was laughable. I was trying to contain myself. What in the hell was Moose wearing? What do they call that, a romper? Oh, my God. Is that like fashion in some part of the world that I've never seen before? I don't know where Moose is from. I don't know who took him shopping for this, but he looked like it was like Splat Mania all over Moose. And then the upside down hot pink visor. And Killer Cross in his classic trench, black shades, looking deathly scary. And then there's Moose. What the? Oh, the highlight of Moose in this entire episode was in the interview with Aries with what's her name? Michelle McKenzie. By the way, welcome back, Michelle McKenzie, to the show. I know a lot of fans have missed you. That's not a knock on Alicia Tout. She knocked it out of the park when they were up in Canada. The cast of Zoolander took him shopping. Oh. Oh, and the foam goes everywhere. That's, oh my God, that's good. That's good. Choice. That's awesome. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'll buy that for $1. So yeah, it was the match was okay, but like I said, the crowd kind of fell flat at the end there. But overall, the crowd wasn't horrible. I've seen some like really big events for AAA, and the crowd just like worse than Florida. It's like crazy. So overall, throughout the episode, the crowd was okay. I just hope it stays at least this good, for the rest of the tapings leading up to Bound for Glory, because this is the biggest event of the year, and I just hope it pays off for them, as far as like the build up and the atmosphere leading to the big event in New York City. So next week, we are getting Tessa Blanchard versus Fabi Apache for the Knockouts Championship. That should headline the episode, folks. Seriously, that should headline it. We're getting Brian Cage versus Jake Christ. I am really looking forward to that one. LEX versus Desi Hit Squad non-title bout. Should be entertaining. Ali and Kira Hogan versus Su Yung and the Undead Maid of Honor. They had under the other face a UDMOH. I was like, UDMO. Oh yeah, Undead Maid of Honor. Okay. Along with the surprise of Scarlett Bordeaux. What is that surprise going to be? And we're probably getting Seidel versus Swan, or that might be Bound for Glory. They might drag it out 4 more weeks. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, now the point I was making earlier about the importance of Conan and my discussion last night, if you missed it, about the Lucha Brothers, is that the Lucha Brothers aren't going anywhere. Okay. Because of their Lucha Underground contract, they've got a non-compete clause for anything bigger than what they're doing now till 2020. Okay. MLW, Kurt Bauer, has locked them into stuff for their show for 2019. So they're not going anywhere down there for quite a while, along with Selena De La Renta, and Low Key is staying there too. Not to stray off the show, but just talking about the Lucha Brothers. And Conan is also working on their contract with Impact Wrestling, trying to get them a raise because they are so vitally important to Impact Wrestling internationally, and they're big names. They're super talented. There is really not too much of a better duo right now in wrestling as far as brothers. And that's not a knock on OVE, the Christ brothers. Just saying the Lucha Brothers are a hot commodity right now. And the fact that they're not going anywhere for another, at least year, 2 years, I know there were several fans out there worldwide who did not want them to go to the WWE. Knowing that Rey Mysterio is eventually going to the WWE because news came out now that he has signed a 2-year deal. My assumption after hearing that was, oh, well, maybe they'll bring in the Lucha Brothers with Rey Mysterio. As much as I don't want to see the Lucha Brothers as much as I don't want to see the Lucha Brothers go to WWE, seeing Rey Mysterio, did I say Phoenix? Rey Mysterio and the Lucha Brothers is quite the combo. And for a while, I thought that's what was going to go on in the WWE. That would certainly make a few more people buy the network. Damn Skippy. Because as much as fans don't want to see them go, they're going to watch to see what they do wherever they go. It doesn't matter where, because that's how good the Lucha Brothers are. So, DLC. Come back. Yeah. That was kind of a gimme. We just didn't know exactly when, after the game announcement, that when he was going to show up. So apparently it's going to be sooner than later. A lot of people assume that it's going to be the 1,000th episode of SmackDown is when Rey shows up for some kind of match. Some people think it's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle or something. I don't know. I heard something like that. So, all right. I think that's all I was going to talk about beyond the episode. I just wanted to reiterate a little bit of last night of what I talked about in the discussion of the Lucha Brothers, because it's very important. It's the topic of discussion across Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling, MLW. I'll bring it up again probably next week when I'm talking about the next part of War Games that gets aired. In fact, I think it just aired today, which I think honestly is a day early. It showed up on my YouTube, and I was really surprised. It usually airs on TV on Fridays and shows up on Saturday, like 24 hours later. So I was really surprised when it showed up early afternoon today. Shocked. Wonder if that was a mistake. I don't know. Maybe they're like, screw it, let's just put it on YouTube. I don't know. But nonetheless, can't wait to watch it. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again, everyone blowing up the chat, watching live. Much appreciated. If you caught it late, you can watch the rest of it later when it gets uploaded on rantwithant.com, where I'm loading all my Impact Wrestling stuff, just like I do my Lucha Underground and MLW stuff over on wrestlingwithwrestling.com. By the way, Twitter, please, for the love of God, give Andre Corbeil and wrestlingwithwrestling.com their Twitter back. Enough is enough. Seriously, they're not bots. They're real, okay? It's called, oh, that's cold. It's because I'm a human being, okay? So give them back their Twitter before J-Bone stomps a mud hole in your candy ass. I don't know. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Thanks again for watching, folks. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen. And, yeah, we're trying to get the channel monetized again, folks. Trying to get the subs up. We hit 500. We are on the road to a grand 1,000. So horrible, horrible Spanish accent. I promise I will not do that again. Good night, folks. Have a good one.